Caleb and Sam will be battling hard to see who lifts the cheese trophy.
About enough cheese to get you through the weekend. And that board and that hat, certainly that hat, is forever.
That, it's forever because it does look like it will never biodegrade.
Never.
Never. It's just going to be in existence long after the heat death of the universe and the extinction of the human race.
You get it.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's time for the finals here at CubeCon. Game 1, let's go down. Caleb Durward up against Sam Black. This is the match we have been waiting for. Caleb is on that super sweet red-black artifact sacrifice graveyard synergy deck, and Sam Black is on lands that do stuff.
A little bit of mana acceleration, not really much in the way of putting extra lands on the battlefield. Sam Black is putting most of these lands into play over time. The mana wrap spells are like Deathrite Shaman, Ignoble Hierarch, and then Life from the Loam, and just playing a land every turn.
Okay. I respect that. Looks like Sam is on the play. Back over to Caleb. So is Caleb going to give Sam the time to do that?
Well, Pyrite Spellbombs, I wouldn't exactly call it a fast clock, or really a clock at all.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot about definitions. Being very careful about the way we use our vocabulary. But Sam Black also has stuff going on. That's a nesting doll, I believe.
Running that right into the Spellbomb. I mean, what else would you do?
Well, it's Priest of Forgotten Gods. Love that card.
And the doll doesn't do a lot immediately. It taps for 1 mana. It takes some time to get going and to make the spiders.
Right.
I like developing your battlefield a little bit more on Durward's side.
Yeah, it is a sweet one. I mean, you do want your mana dogs to cost 1 generally, but for a mana dog that costs 2, it is nice. Is that prismatic ending on the Spellbomb?
That is.
Love it. And there's Phyrexian Flesh Gorger as well, playing on the prototype side, so it is just a 3/3.
Here's the draw, I guess, for Durward. The Priest into Vidrock once again.
Look, just sometimes you get your 75 permanents on turn 3, and sometimes you get Vidrock.
We've seen Vidrock twice now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's been an underperformer.
Well, okay. Let's dig into that.
Okay.
For it to underperform, it has to...
Perform it all?
I was going to go the other way in that. There has to be a standard that is not meeting, right? But, what was the standard for this card in the first place? What was your expectation that was not met?
What?
Or did it meet your expectations precisely?
So here's how I'll answer that question. It's a little long-winded.
Okay.
To that point, Caleb had cast 3 spells. 1 for 1 mana, 1 for 2 mana, 1 for 3 mana.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 mana spell caught a pretty strong removal spell. The 2 mana threat's hanging around and it's valuable. It's cashing it in now. Mm-hmm. And what it did with the 3 mana card was sacrifice it to the 2 mana card.
That's something.
In terms of what all these cards did, the Vidrock is clearly the least valuable.
Yeah, that didn't answer my question at all, but I take your point.
It only didn't answer your question to the extent that you refused to face the reality of the situation.
So Caleb's doing a good job taking down Sam Black's creatures. The nesting doll is going to go away. Noble Hierarch was sacrificed to the Priest ability, and we are going back over to Sam, who still has the Flesh Gorger.
And before we go back to Sam, here's a Gifts Ungiven, and this is a sick Gifts Ungiven deck. You have Volrath Stronghold, you have Life from the Loam. You cash those in, one way or the other, you're getting both. The Loam has Dredge, gets the Stronghold back.
Yeah.
You can toss 1 or 2 creatures in that. You can toss something, assuming you even go down that route. There's other stuff that he has that plays out of the graveyard. Savine's Reclamation. You can get that in 2 things that the Reclamation can recur. There's a lot of choices with Gifts Ungiven in Sam's deck here. And,
that is so sweet. I mean, Gifts is just a sweet card, right?
Many of these choices are really strong, and several of them are completely inevitable.
All right, let's find out what the options are. There we go. Wow, just like you drew it up.
Yeah, the Reclamation and the Life from the Loam.
Field of the Dead and a fetch land, I believe.
It's kind of interesting to
What do you even do
split
here?
Life from the Loam versus lands. Because you might think, well, if I give you the loam, then you can't dredge it right away. Or if I don't give it to you, then you can. So, that's a factor. The Reclamation's back for flashback right away. I like putting that one to hand because the 5 mana part is just much stronger than the 3 mana part.
Right. Okay, alright, so the lands go to the graveyard. The Reclamation and Life from the Loam go to hand. Sam untapped, draws for the turn. Still has the Flesh Gorger holding down the battlefield while he gets to do some stuff.
And putting the 2 spells to hand also makes a lot of sense because you're kind of accounting for Sam's next turn.
Right.
You're probably, if you want a loam in Savines, you can spend a turn doing that. You can't really go off in a big way for that turn. That said, like I was establishing, a lot of inevitability in the cards grabbed. If not this turn, it's next turn, the turn after, every turn for the rest of the game.
Right. And I just love this, by the way. Sam just kind of attacked in the middle of doing his stuff. He was like, look, I've got some actions to take. Oh, I may as well just attack while I'm here.
Just so we know, you're at 13 and I'm at 24.
Gotta keep that information, clear.
Oh my god. The Field of the Dead put at the graveyard off of Gifts Ungiven, and now Renegade Rallier gets that back, and we're at 6 unique lands. That's the zombie territory next turn. We have a fetch land in graveyard. We have Life from the Loam in graveyard.
Yeah, Renegade Rallier to get Field of the Dead is just gross. Like, it is just gross. Blood Fountain, okay. Yeah, gonna crack that blood immediately. Go digging.
And really importantly, Durward has not had a fast start or a high power start.
Right.
He got a little bit of value. The priest did something, was able to sacrifice Vidrock, but kind of stopped there.
Yeah, that's true. But oh, is this Unearth?
All right, that's good.
All right. Okay, so Ashnod's Harvester gets Unearthed, takes care of Life from the Loam, so that closes off one avenue at least.
So the turn over turn inevitability hasn't even been stopped. The Field of the Dead's still there, but it's been slowed down.
Okay. I mean, that's something, right?
Yes.
You gotta, like we said, step by step.
Right.
Right. Here comes the team. Gotta take it.
And Durward's life total is not high.
It's not dire.
It's not dire, but these creatures aren't messing around.
They certainly are not. Oh, goodness. Is that the... Wait, is that not a Plains in the back?
That's redundant Plains, I do believe.
Yeah, that's a Plains in the back.
I do not understand us to be live.
Okay.
I mean, this game's over.
It was over already.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb's going to skip it up. We're going to go to game 2.
There were zombies forthcoming in very short order.
Yeah, I mean, there was a fetch land as well, right? So
and this means Reclamation to get a permanent. Just make it a land, whatever.
Sure. Okay. So Sam Black wraps that one up. Thanks to that really great Gifts Ungiven. And we're gonna bring up game 2 for you in just a second. Here we go. Let's find out what happens here. This time Caleb is going to be on the play. And he needs to put together one of the starts that we saw in the previous matches.
The Raucous Theater on 1 is fine. There's not high pressure to open on Goblin Welder. It's more to get something going on turn 2, even just like getting Scrap Heap Scrounger, Priest of Forgotten Gods, and then continuing to apply things to the battlefield.
You surprised to see the Epicure get pinned here?
I think it's pretty weak on turn 2. It makes sense to me, especially if he doesn't have something already in hand that he wants to discard to the blood.
Right. Okay. Here's the Scrap Keep.
Oh, and here's another there's the Mutt as the discard outlet.
Okay, I mean, that is a better discard outlet, so definitely don't blame him there. The Leveler goes to the bin. There are not hard reanimate spells as such here for Caleb, but does have the Goblin Welder, has the Feldon as well that can kind of reanimate.
And this is a really good play for Sam Black, this creature that can recur lands from the graveyard, and it's good to attack with, but it's also just a 2/3.
I have news for you, Ryan. It's your favorite card.
Vidrock is in the house. Vidrock is back.
Vidrock is back. The Crown Scourge. Not just from Scourge, but the king.
Not from Scourge at all.
King.
Who did Vidrock steal that crown from?
a more worthy candidate.
That could be anybody.
Oh my god. Could be Grist. Grist is
There's
here.
a card.
That's a card.
It's a card and a
Oh,
half.
it's gonna mill. It's gonna get an insect. Experimental synthesize with
No
Durward.
triplicate titans. No.
That's-
Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, great hit. That's Badlands. Not a bad land.
A good land in Badlands.
Alright, what's Godrak's
We need,
condition?
we need a couple more artifacts. I
artifacts
believe you
with
need
different names,
4.
right? Yeah. Is it just 4 artifacts or is it different names?
I believe it's 4. I think you
Okay.
can get there on the treasures it naturally generates.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not bad.
If that ever happened. We haven't seen it.
Well, we may yet see it.
Yeah, this could be the game.
This could be it.
Putting the game
If
on
there ever
Godrak's
were a
back.
time. Okay, I love this, by the way.
Galvanic blasting an insect.
Yep.
That gets you a treasure.
Does it?
Oh, he's reaching for him. I have to assume.
I think it says non-token on Godrak. Just
Wow. GRVs across the board, both sides in this match. For each non-token. Wow.
wow. Godrak? Okay, I mean, look. This card is not a staple.
Do I blame these players for not knowing what Godrak does? No.
Absolutely. Wait, what? We're gonna go back over to Samson.
You would think with the
Chris is-
stakes being so high that they would be more thorough.
That's true. That's true. Only one of them may lift the cheese board. The cheese cannot be shared. It must stand alone.
Yes.
That's the name of the event.
That is one person's one weekend supply of cheese.
Yes. I have a confession. I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, it's not. It's a good thing you're not competing.
Yeah.
We got 2 Wisconsinites here in the feature match area.
Ah,
they are
okay.
both up to the task.
They both got the hometown advantage. It cancels out, right?
I was mostly speaking to their tolerance for lactose and cheese by
I
extension.
don't think that's to do with like geographical location.
It is.
Okay.
We are in Wisconsin.
Sure. Ramanap X-Spacer hits the battlefield for Sandblank.
I apologize for my non-American partner's inability to understand
Don't
Wisconsin
apologize for me.
and its relation to cheese.
I'll apologize for myself. I'm Canadian. Here's Duretti. It's kind of like this.
Hold on. That's the 4th artifact. One of them was Hill Cotton. That treasure. We're putting an asterisk on this year's the Cheese Stands Alone competition.
Okay. Well, that's okay. The Grist goes down. Duretti went up. Grist goes down. That's the 4th. Yeah. And Sam's got it. Sam's got options. Is this swing?
It's looking like it.
Okay. Did he even play a land from the graveyard yet? I don't think so.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so the deep root, the merfolk, that's a combat damage trigger.
If it damages the opponent, you can put a land from your graveyard onto the battlefield, tapped. So that's threatening getting back that, I believe it's a Savannah from the graveyard, and then the other creatures are going for the Grist. So this split makes sense. You know, the Wayfinder has some value if it hits Durward, and then you're already attacking. You want to do something about that Duretti. So you may as well turn everything sideways. So it's a tough position. You know, I don't like. I would rather be on Durward's side of the table.
Right.
But I like the way that Sam Black is playing it here.
Okay. I mean, that's the thing about both of these two, right? Like, they're great drafters, but they're actually also just really great players.
Yes.
Like, the technical play from both of them, I mean, Godrak aside, it's top-notch, and it's just really great to watch them outwork. And it's going to be the double block on the Merfolk.
Yeah, with the attack on Duretti not being lethal, that makes quite a bit of sense.
Okay. Okay, that's Field of the Dead. Good turn to play a tap land. And Sam's going to pass it back over. Is it gifts time?
That'd be strong. Notably, Godrak no longer able to attack.
Okay, but Duretti can go up. So
That's true. That's true. You're right. You're
It's
right.
close.
You're right. That was an unfair beat. I will not apologize to Godrak.
Never apologize to Goodrak. Okay, so Durward is going up. Now what for Caleb?
Leave 3 cards in hand.
There is a scrap heap still. There's still that Cityscape Leveler just hanging out in the graveyard.
Inching closer and closer to unearthing.
Right.
Though ideally, Durward's looking for that Feld on the 3rd path, looking for that Goblin Welter, some way to cheat it.
Right. You don't necessarily want to let it get exiled.
Right, yeah, unearthing it both costs a lot of mana, and it's a one-time thing.
It is an answer to Field of the Dead.
True.
Wait, is it an answer to Field of the Dead? Let me just... Look,
No, I chose to believe you.
It levels cityscapes. That is...
You would think.
You would think that it could deal with lands.
I think it actually is just non-land.
Who do we complain to about this?
It's similar to how Meteor Golem can't destroy a land.
Okay.
It's just like, what does a meteor do? What is the flavor of this card?
Yeah, it says, you're right. It says non-land permanent. Yeah.
I can't believe you tricked me like that. All right, Siege Gang Commander. That's
good.
Simplify the battlefield a little bit. Now the players have decided to read Goodrak.
Okay. Oh no. Have they realized? Nope. Okay, so the Siege Gang comes down. Treasures are being sacked.
And Gifts Ungiven gonna do its thing.
Same second burst, same as the first? Or
Probably a little bit different. Life total is very different, and battlefield position very different in this game. This is not a spot where Sam can really look for a long-term inevitability line.
right.
You got to try to find something that can immediately impact the battlefield the next turn. Because you got a big flying dragon, and you got Siege Gang Commander that represents a lot of damage.
So looks like Savine's Reclamation is being pulled to the front.
Definitely makes a lot of sense. I have to imagine a very high percentage of the Gifts Ungiven piles in this deck involve that card.
Right.
Good in your hand, good in your graveyard.
Right.
Not really a context that changes that.
I guess with Grist in the graveyard as well, it's...
Right. Yeah, a very solid target already rolled up.
What else is going to join it?
Gifts Ungiven is one of the most skill-testing cards to resolve outside of, putting it either in your Storm deck or your Gifts Ungiven, or your Unburial Rights deck.
Oh, your Gifts Ungiven deck?
Yeah, if you put Gifts Ungiven deck in your Gifts Ungiven in your Gifts Ungiven deck, awful. Easy.
Easy decision. Okay, is that Hogak?
That is.
Oh my goodness. Hogak
That's a
rising
large
up
creature.
out of the dread of the past.
That impacts the
haunt us.
battlefield.
Is this what happens after the cityscape gets leveled? It
Hogak.
becomes a necropolis.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, great.
If you're appointing me as the flavor judge in this scenario,
That's a
that's
big
my
assumption
ruling.
to make.
Well, I said if.
Okay.
I made no assumptions. I asked a question.
Wow, where were you during Hogak summer?
I was
Wait,
crushing.
casting?
I was crushing with prowess. I was
Love
attacking
it.
them with 1/2 creatures
Love
and
it.
flashing back lava darts.
How did that go for you?
A top 4 to Grand Prix.
Nice. Great job.
I lost to the player who won the tournament with Hogak in the
Oh.
top 4,
Wow.
but I beat 3 of his cohorts in the Swiss.
Okay. Okay, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hogak in the graveyard? For sure.
Yes.
And I think is that Reclamation in the graveyard? Seems like a white card.
It looks to be. I was busy reminiscing about the glory days. We run a tight ship here.
Hot Hogak summer.
Here's a nice one.
Okay, tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this is Lumra of some superlative. Gonna mill for 4, and all the lands from the graveyard are gonna come back to the battlefield for Sam Black. So that Field of Dead's gonna make some zombies right away, and then Lumra is gigantic with vigilance and reach. I'm gonna, this might blow your mind a little bit, but Lumra is larger than Goodrak.
What?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
you wouldn't think it.
And yet, here we are. And there's reach?
Yes.
Okay, vigilance and reach are just very annoying things to put on a card, like, together.
Yes. That dragon's covered.
Okay, because it's currently an 8/8. And 2 zombies from Field of the Dead. The
And
Excavator.
here comes the Gak.
Of course. Wow.
Convoke and Delve. What an elegant design.
One of the designs of all time. Back over to Caleb Durward. He's got to win this one to be in with a chance to lift the cheese trophy and wear the cheese hat.
That gifts into this turn was a really good swing for Sam Black, and notably still at 18 life.
Caleb's digging.
The Dreddy is good here. It can clean up some of this. You can kill the Loomer there, sacrifice an artifact, cut that down.
Are you a Team Duretti or Team Grist?
I'm bigger on Grist than Duretti.
That's fair.
What about you?
Well, I mean, I do recognize that Grist is better, but Duretti's so sweet.
You gotta stand by your people.
I just love Rakdos artifact sacrifice stuff. It's just hits the right spot for me. You know?
Yeah.
And this Duretti can kill that Lumera. Could kill Hogak. Probably not ideal.
That one has a way of coming back.
Oh, Victimize?
This is one of the victimizers of all time. Okay, the Leveler's coming back. That's good.
Okay, of all the Victimizers that have ever been cast, how many do you think have gotten this exact combination of Cityscape Leveler and Dark
I'll
and Epic?
confidently lock in. I was going to say, it's probably actually more than 5. Both of these cards have been in the Magic. Well, no, Victimize has not been in the Magic Online Vintage queues with them. So I'm going to go back to saying less than 5.
Less than 5. No. Can't disagree with that. Oh, here comes. It's gadget time. I mean, Caleb might get that.
Yeah. Clearing out the Lumera, Dreddy did a good job there. And also that Victimize means the attack next turn, much more threatening.
Yeah. Honestly, Hogak doesn't even look that bad. What was everyone complaining about?
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
8? I can take 8. I got 20 life.
Okay. Back over to Sam. What is the biggest problem here for Sam?
Don't make me say Gadrock. That flyer matters in a pretty significant way.
We found it. We found the use case. Hope your opponent is playing live from the loam. Just gives you infinite time to make as many artifacts as you want.
If you get to the point in the game where you can cast a pretty wide number of large power flyers, Gadrock is comparable to them.
Yeah.
A large power flyer is just good here.
Mana.
Yeah, just having the flyer to get over the zombie tokens is very significant.
Yeah. What does Sam even have in the deck that can deal with this nonsense?
So much of Sam's deck is this grindy value over time. So the big thing to have would be the sweeper in the form of Vanquish of the Horde or Wrath of God. Mm-hmm. I feel like we'd be moving faster if we had access to those.
The thing is, when you say grindy value, that makes a deck sound great. But when you say over time, it really cheapens the amount of value.
Yeah,
because you're dividing it by the time.
It's important to use all of those words to describe these
Using
interactions.
words, very important. Casting 101. Use your words.
Yeah, a lot of the other stuff in Sam's deck here is pretty mopey, and the life total is just under too much pressure.
Gadrock too strong.
Yeah, that is what I said and meant.
Yep. I mean, there are ways, right? There's Grist still. Sabine's Reclamation can get Grist back. That's an answer.
Yeah. It's an answer to like the Gadrak or the Leveler, but not to both.
Yeah.
But
block
you
the
make
Leveler.
inroads. If Sam can have a turn that answers one of those cards, while also moving towards one of the engines in the deck, really start powering out more zombies. Even just like a turn to simplify the battlefield a little bit and get a little bit lucky and draw one of those sweepers would be massive.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, he has thought through his options. Gotta check how much mana Caleb's working with. It's a lot. It's just one treasure, though, right? At this moment.
Yes, looks like treasure on top of a construct.
Right.
The mana relevant, because the Siege Gang Commander, that's 2 to activate every time, as well as the Experimental Synthesizer. Durward's got some mana 6 sticking around, but not a ton of mana. A good amount.
Okay. Looks like it's going to be sending the team. These two smaller creatures are going at Duresi. Hogak swinging in at Caleb's face. Doesn't even block here.
I assume you just take 8 off of the Hogak, and then you think about protecting Duretti. And I imagine that you probably value this Duretti pretty highly.
Right.
Scrounger trading for zombie makes a lot of sense to me. You could throw some material at the excavator.
Just telling you.
What's that?
That's a scrapbook mod.
That's the one. Yeah, I named a card that can't block.
That can't block.
Too.
Yeah. I was like,
Thank you for the correction.
I got you.
Mutt, Scrounger.
It's true. It's the same category. There's a general sort of roguishness, haphazard vibe, shall we say?
Kind of messed up that the Mutt can block if you think about it.
I disagree. Caleb's life total is taking a bit of a shellacking here from Hogak. It's so big.
It is gigantic.
It's gigantic.
I do like prioritizing trading with the other material, getting that excavator off the battlefield. It slows down some of these engines. That fetch land can't just be played every turn.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be Surveil land here for Sam Black. Thinking about, is that the Scavenger's Talon?
I believe so, yeah. It very much looks like that card frame.
It doesn't seem like it's doing a lot.
Not now. That card does so much when it gets going. The question is, how much time does Sam have?
Okay, so we talked already a little bit about Sabine's Reclamation. Just double check. But Sam does have a lot to work with as well.
Yeah, a lot of mana and a lot of cards in hand. And just this one in the graveyard.
Okay, so here's Grist. That's nice.
Yeah, this is a good reason to surveil away the talent. Flashback to Reclamation, get that one with your Grist.
Very nice, very nice. Grist comes in at 3, can deal with the Gadrak. Does the Scavenger's Talon do something when it comes in?
Not when it comes in. The base level is whenever a creature you control dies, you make a food token and triggers once per turn.
Okay. Okay, so that's kind of nice with Grist. Deal with the most powerful card on Durward. Actually did deal with the most powerful card.
Right. You were trying to make a joke.
How dare I? My goodness. Levity? In my CubeCon broadcast?
The answer is the Leveler. The Gadrak still threatening the Grist, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Clean up the
makes
battlefield a
food.
little. You pad your life total a bit.
Right.
An attack for 5 going at a 1 loyalty planeswalker instead of your face.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And so Caleb, it just feels like Caleb hasn't really managed to put, the engine together this game.
Right. Yeah. Well, what he's been doing is playing some pretty solid rates. And the problem is, most of what he's been doing has been kind of one-shot effects.
Right.
The Victimizer's pretty impactful. The Duretti's doing a little bit turn over turn. He's gotten good value out of that. But he hasn't been able to establish Feldon in the third path. Hasn't been able to establish Goblin Welder. And those are the ways that he can really go over the top. Yeah, every turn that Sam Black can simplify the battlefield, Sam Black is generating value turn over turn.
Right.
That's the only thing his deck does.
Yeah, it does it very well. It does it very well. It takes its sweet time doing it, but, that's how Cube goes sometimes.
That's how all of Sam Black's deck go all the time.
I mean, he truly is a master at doing that.
Yes.
Caleb, there's a lot of... this is also the problem, right? Cube is just... There's so many different cards from so many different parts, eras, etc. of Magic, different formats. And even if you're familiar with them all, just the brain work required to put together the situational analysis of what's going on is so intense in these games.
And Sam's talent for navigating that, masterful. It's kind of unmatched in that realm.
Right.
Literally one of the greatest to ever do it. No
Right.
exaggeration there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in terms of, the way this game has been playing, the way Sam's deck is constructed, and to what Durward has to think about then, because when you master this, you're not just flexing, oh, I built a good deck, right? You're also saying, all right, Caleb Durward's great. But you're overloading him on what he has to think about. And in that last turn, Sam Black has Fuel of the Dead making zombies and flashbacks of Vine's Reclamation.
Right.
Still has 6 cards in hand.
Right.
So much could happen on the next turn.
So much could happen. I'm sure it all will happen. And we will be here with you every step of the way. But it's going to start here with Caleb unearthing the Scrapwork Mud. That's going to give a trigger when it comes in. And Caleb's deck as well, it's just a very high decision count deck, right? There's just so many different things to think about. The sequencing matters a lot. How you stack things, how you answer things. These are not easy decks to play.
No.
Okay, that's the attack. Did Caleb choose not to pitch?
Oh, nothing was discarded.
Right.
The mopey creature's going for the Grist, and the Grok getting that damage in.
Yeah, Sam just has the 1/2/2. Decides not to commit it to the block. Grist goes down.
Yeah, 2/2 just ate the Goblin token.
Oh, okay, sure. All right. Okay, Burn Shards, sacrificing this, kill Hogak. You can come back.
It's a good turn.
Oh, the food. I keep thinking, Sam's life total's getting low, but you're right, the Scavenger's Talent is doing work.
Yes. Those foods will continue.
Is that the Feldon?
That's the Feldon. That's a big deal. Okay, that turn was good for Durward. Push some damage. You have a good battle position. You still have the Grist. The Feldon puts it way over. Now there is pressure on Sam. But again, great last turn for Sam Black.
Right.
Didn't commit any of this 100 cards in hand.
Right. What's even going on? Okay, I see Renegade Rallier. For sure. And what else? Wait, can Renegade Rallier get Grist?
It's only... I believe it's only 2 or less, right? Or can it get a 3?
I think it would be insane if we could get a 3, so I'm going to believe you. Yeah, 2 or less.
Yeah, specifically Rallier for Rallier is probably what they're designing around.
They never let us have fun.
It can't even have it in Cube. Just...
The only format where anything matters. I'll perfect the Ryan Overtuff impression over the weekend, I'm sure.
What a noble pursuit.
The only pursuits I have.
One of the pursuits of all time.
So I like how actually being Caleb C is great, right? Because you're like, okay, I've played my last card. It's all here. You know, you can see everything.
Yeah, you tell me who's
You
winning.
do what? You do you.
Do your thing.
Do your
I'll
thing.
be here. You let me know when you're done.
Okay, fetch. That's gonna.
So you sacrifice
Mill?
a thing so the
Yeah.
talent lets you mill.
Okay. Fail to find.
Love it.
No Zombo. Would you call that a nombo?
I would. But it's also a combo with the talent, so who's to say?
You.
Oh, sick.
I'm asking you.
It does give you
Oh,
a revolt
okay.
for the rallier, so we're really in combo territory now.
Okay. Some revolting stuff is happening on the battlefield. Is it on Sam's side or is it on Caleb's side? Sam is getting back the iridescent
The Vine Lasher.
the Vine Lasher.
And here's Volras Stronghold.
Oh, goodness. Do you think Sam has a strong hold over this game?
Can't believe I'm no-selling that, because that was funny.
There's more where that came from. Okay, so did Sam pay the offspring? I don't think so, right?
I don't believe you can.
Oh, because it was
not
just it wasn't
cast.
cast. Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay. Okay. So this is a path to victory.
The Vine Lasher and 11 more land.
And 11 more lands. I mean, he did fail to find, but that's neither here nor there. A land came in.
Yeah, here's our zombie for the
Okay.
Stronghold.
You know, and I mean, it's gonna be difficult to kill him with all this food on the battlefield, right? Like, there are
Life
blockers
total
for the,
is very padded, yes.
Yeah, like Caleb can get the leveler back, but then what?
The leveler is appealing as an answer to the talent, but here we see it going to level 3, so now Sam can sacrifice 3 things to bring a creature back from the graveyard.
Okay, does have a finality count on it. You can get grist.
Ooh, yeah, a creature in the graveyard, as it
Yeah.
were. Little unfortunate to bring Gristed in the end step, though.
Not the ideal time. I mean, what else does Sam have? I think he has that Lumra, maybe, from before. Yeah, go to the end step, sacrificing 3 non-land permanents.
These will all trigger the mill ability on the talent as well. And because of a
Oh.
goofy thing, we're not just looking at what Sam has in the graveyard. If Sam mills self, because it doesn't target, you can actually bring one of those things back.
Right. Okay.
One of the more absurd things,
Let's just check.
this card is played in Pioneer because of the Ygra Cauldron Familiar combo. Mm-hmm. And the more you learn about what this card does, the more upsetting its existence is. It is good.
But Ryan, like, your threshold for something's existence upsetting you is so low.
It's so low.
It's so low.
I wish you hadn't said that because I'm very upset about that.
I mean, it's just one of the hazards of the job. Like, it's gonna lose its. Oh, is that Slogard?
That is Slogger.
Oh my god! Oh.
Here's Lumra. Oh wow! There's
One
not much library, but the stronghold is there.
Okay.
So, in a way, Sam Black is demonic tutoring for a creature every turn, or vampiric tutoring.
Yeah,
Whatever.
let's get technical.
Let's start by making 10 zombies.
return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean,
Vine Lasher.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Slogart combo deck that was in Standard. I'll go.
Define
it was
familiar.
know of.
I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah. That was a great, by the way. But this has got those vibes, you know, the splendid reclamation thing going on.
And now there are so many zombies on the battlefield.
Caleb's down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
That is a game plan.
Vine Lasher did some work there for sure.
Sam Black has 1 card in the library, but that's plenty.
And it kind of feels like Sam just has to get through this turn.
Okay, he's a 6. Okay, there are lots of ways that Caleb can find lethal, though.
If Caleb had 2 more mana, Felden for Siege Gang Commander would do it.
Okay, I mean, first step, kill the thing with reach, presumably.
Now, let's get a look at an extra card. I like this sequencing.
Okay, alright. Sack the synthesizer. Priest?
Not a game for that one anymore. He's quickly saying, I can cast this, I will not.
Okay, and Sam does have 1 food activation available. Okay, Felden for Siege Gang.
You can. I think importantly, the Siege Gang is probably just going to answer that Vine Lasher. Though there's so many zombies.
There's so many. I mean, Sam. Yeah, has to eat a food to avoid going down to 1.
You go. So the Siege Gang is actually is it this lethal?
He's a full. That sounds lethal. That looks lethal.
Token.
That looks lethal.
Yeah. So Durward did have it. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I forgot about Gadrock.
Yeah. How could you? We're gonna go through game 3, and honestly, like, I know we've been complaining about it, and like these games have been really grindy and a lot of stuff is happening, but it is fascinating. Like, I love these games. This is really what defines the cube format for me.
Sam's deck is a masterpiece.
Yeah, and Caleb's deck is also not.
Durward's deck's
shabby.
very cool.
Yeah, but Sam's deck is really, it's got it going on. Surveil that to the top.
The 1 drop of choice, Pyrite Spellbomb.
Look at how great this 2/3 is into the.
I can't believe they print creatures with 3 toughness.
Oh, that's just unfair. Well, luckily, they also print creatures with 3 power.
That
and
I
some
like.
of them can even block.
Yes, this is not Scrap Heap Scrounger. Yeah, could not block fast enough.
Oh, Elspeth Smite?
You know,
Exiles?
it's probably the
That
weakest
is so
card in
sick.
Sam's deck, but that
is
conversion was incredible.
So sick. Amazing.
And the reason that we have it, we've been talking about how much inevitability Sam's deck has. And this card is like a card that stops you from getting run over. And here we see that it has some proactive applications.
Wow. That was great. Okay.
How about a 2/3?
I'll pay 2 life for that.
One of the Phyrexian metamorphs of all time. Copying the Deeproot Wayfinder. Is that what it is?
It is, yeah.
Nailed it.
Great job. Have you been playing Retail Limited or something? How else would you know this card?
That card was briefly in the Magic Online Vintage Cube.
That's true. It actually was.
It's really good if you have Strip Mine.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, it's really good in lower power formats where having 3 power is a significant ask.
Yeah. And that's what you want. Okay. There's the fetch. Let's see.
Lush Portico surveilling.
Oh, okay. A lot of surveilling to the top.
What a spew. What a waste. You want to bin it every time.
You do though, don't you? You gotta admit. Okay, going straight up to level 2 here for Sam. On that Scavenger's talent. So creatures dying, make foods, and whenever you sacrifice, milling happens. This one, unlike Mayhem Devil, is not symmetric.
That's the one thing it doesn't do.
Yeah.
Is care about your opponents.
Rubbish card. Unplayable. Let's see whether Caleb can find something to help him.
Hitting Goblin Welder off Experimental Synthesizer.
Not
both
bad.
much better than Triplicate Titan. And actually just probably the best possible hit in Durward's deck.
Yeah. Nothing in the graveyard just yet, but...
Spellbomb has a way of getting there on its own.
Oh, and Caleb found black mana. There's going to be a 2-drop here.
Ooh.
Nice! Only caught Anvil. Okay, so, you know, after talking about how he didn't really manage to get the engine going, we are seeing the pieces come together here.
This is a really nice start. The question is, how much can Sam Black simplify the battlefield? There's a pretty high pressure to get this Goblin Welder out right away.
Whenever you say simplify the battlefield, there's this kind of wishful thinking edge to it. Like, Sam, please simplify the battlefield.
Yeah. I mean, like, save my poor brain.
Okay, Wooded Foothills, that's a sack. That's going to trigger. Here's the mill. Yeah, that's going to resolve first. Is that gifts ungiven?
Yes.
Sad.
It's an unfortunate mill. Both because it does nothing in the graveyard and it's one of the better enablers in the deck.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but Sam does get to get a drop. Was that Prismatic ending the other card mode?
Yeah, it looks to be. Savine's Reclamation. Yeah, that's the other white card. We talked at the top of the cube here about how this cube really heavily incentivizes going into 3 colors. So it's designed a lot along those lines. And we've seen a number of 2-color decks. We've been watching Caleb Durward kind of crush with this Rakdos deck. And we're seeing why. Because Sam Black has all of the dual lands.
I respect it.
Yeah, we did not see a single fetch land
No.
in Tim Mayer's draft at all.
No. I think Sam was sitting across the table, maybe not directly across, but suddenly 3 seats down or 2 seats down or something. So yeah, definitely soaked up a lot of the duels, a lot of the fetches.
Ooh.
Goodbye, Deeproot Wayfinder. Sam gets a food.
And now Durward's Wayfinder gets to mill. Durward's not trying to do the land thing, but this is a potential enabler for that welder.
Was it a surveyor?
I think you get to explore.
It's explore.
Am I making this up? This card does something.
I think you just saw a merfolk and assumed, but...
I just did what?
Saw a merfolk and assumed.
Yeah, you surveil one.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. It'd be pretty messed up if it explored. Yeah, surveil makes a lot more sense. It's already pretty messed up.
Remember Jade Light Ranger?
I do.
That was a card. Okay, here's the Anvil. Anvil Sax Synthesizer.
Synthesizer?
Straight out of 2021.
Ooh, knowing your top card before you do that is so sick. Yeah, leaves the Mayhem Devil on top.
Nice. Yeah, second response. Get the 1/1 from the construct. And, you know, it's the deciding game. The winner of this one is going to take home the cheese trophy, the cheese cubery board, the charcuterie board, and claim the title.
I thought you were going to say the cheese hat.
That was implied. It's always implied.
This is another spot where one of those sweepers would be a huge deal for Sam.
He has 2 in his deck, we think.
Yeah,
Wrath
Vanquish
of God.
the Horde and Wrath of God.
Okay. All right. Let's see what Sam has to answer this board. I mean,
Dredging life from the
okay.
loam is a sign of confidence when the battlefield looks like this.
I love it.
That suggests that
Just
Sam
love
Black has this full turn planned out, right?
Right. He's thought through. I mean, there's a Hogak. Saw that. Doesn't seem like Vanquish the Horde mana.
Yeah, starting by tapping the white source is I mean, there's planes on the graveyard. Life from the Loam could get that back.
I mean, is he dead? I mean, it sounds crazy because he's at 14, but there's a Mayhem Devil on the battlefield. There's a Pirate Spellbomb. There's Anvil.
There's
Goblin Water.
tremendous pressure to act.
Right. Like, he could easily be dead.
This has to be one of your favorite interactions, Mayhem Devil against Food Token. That only gets Sam 2 life.
Great card. The Mayhem Devil, of course. Tokens aren't cards. No, my friends, that is not Sam Black scooping up his deck. Oh. Okay. That's an answer to the Mayhem Devil.
Yeah, Reclamation for Field of the Dead Grist. It's a lot of value.
It is.
The Field of the Dead token, the trigger is actually really to Sam's detriment here. Gives Durward a window to respond with Pirate Spellbomb and the Mayhem Devil trigger.
That's so sick.
Fully cutting down Grist.
This is what we're talking about, right? Like the technical play, the sequencing, just knowing exactly what's happening at any given time, knowing all your options. It's so much to keep track of, and these players are so good at it.
They want that cheese.
They want the cheese. And honestly, like, I'm gonna say I don't blame them. I obviously do blame them because it's not my thing, but they are Wisconsinites. They want to win the cheese. They would enjoy the cheese. But also, they really just want to win this match. Like, just getting to say that you 3-0'd this pod, you beat Caleb Durward or you beat Sam Black, you know?
Yeah, getting this matchup in the final for either of them.
It's so sick.
I mean, they're both Madisonites. They've played a lot of Magic together.
Yeah.
You know, at home and on the road, you know? But never for stakes this high.
Never for these stakes, I think is a better way.
Never for these exact stakes.
Never for these.
On this exact night.
Okay, we're Weldon. I mean, okay, this has got to be it. I can't back that up with maths or anything.
I wouldn't dream of it.
But Sam Black just has Hogak. There's a talent, no mana to crack the food. Working with 13, Mayhem Devil is on the battlefield. You gonna do some counting, Ryan?
Kind of. I haven't seen enough where I'm confident in looking for lethal. I see a lot of ways to deal like 7 damage.
Okay. Welder sacking.
The second Mayhem Devil is useful.
There's one.
Now the Pyrite Spellbomb represents 4.
Okay.
The Anvil represents 3.
Yeah. There's a lot happening. Oof. Duretti can minus.
The minus, both to clean up the Hogak, also just 2 damage off those devils.
2 damage off the devils. The one devil can attack. Right?
Durward's counting the damage.
Yeah. Okay, Duretti comes in, sacks a thing. Sam's down to 10. The Anvil has already made a construct this turn, so the construct doesn't come back. Okay, that's it. It was lethal. Yeah,
2 Mayhem Devils does deal a lot of damage.
That's a lot of Mayhem Devils. Caleb Durward is going to be your champion for the Cheese Standalone Exhibition Cube here at CubeCon after a grueling 3-game match against Sam Black and his masterpiece of a lands doing stuff deck. Ryan, give me your thoughts.
2 great players, 2 awesome decks. I gotta say that turn where Sam dredged the life from Loam, I guess the second to last turn of the game before Durward closed it, it felt like he must have had a great plan. And Durward just catching him on that Field of the Dead trigger with that Pyrite Spellbomb, so the Grist did nothing. Just incredibly tight play.
So tight. And like, you know, it's late, right? They've been playing Magic all day. It's been tiring 3 rounds. It was a great draft. You know, it did start at like 4:30 in the afternoon. And just to have that level of focus and concentration, just snapping it off.
Yeah,
It was
and
great to see.
kind of what you were saying during the match, there was the long turns that Sam took where Caleb was just leaning back in his chair. He wasn't, giving up. He wasn't resting. He was waiting,
He was waiting.
ready to
You know,
pounce.
yeah, exactly. And pounce he did, and he is going to go home with the charcuterie board with all of that cheese, the cheese hat, and the title of Cheese Stands Alone Exhibition Match winner of CubeCon 2024. We have seen some great stuff here from the Chicago Cube. I have to say, we saw a really wide range of different decks.
Yeah, definitely. And we also kind of had on display there, we didn't talk about it too much, you were just focusing on our matches, but you kind of see how a cube kind of has a metagame and how your draft table can change that. A lot of these cubes, it's called the Chicago Cube. It's because a group of players in Chicago have curated this experience, and their vision is a lot of 3-color decks. We saw some strong 2-color decks and a 5-color deck, which is not like they never saw that coming.
Right.
It just shows how different groups can display different things. If you
Right.
just read the primer, you can draft a nice 3-color deck. If you're one of the greatest of all time, you can draft a sick 5-color deck or a really nice aggressive Rakdos deck.
Right. Yeah, and that's really the beauty of the cube format, just the endless kind of potential for creativity, both constructing your cube, drafting the cube, building the deck, and even playing the games. We saw some very non-intuitive plays and lines from our players, and it was really fantastic to see. All right, Ryan, that is it for coverage from CubeCon today. We are going to be back tomorrow, I believe 11:30 in the morning Central Time, when we are going to be back to the main event and back to following the cubes in there and the players' journeys through the main event all the way. We're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be here Saturday, Sunday until we get to the top 8 Sunday evening, which is going to be Vintage Cube. So lots and lots and lots of magic still to come here at CubeCon. Any last thoughts of the day to round out?
I'm just hoping Caleb's going to share some of that cheese.
You can have it. You can have it. I'm going to ask for some dairy-free cheese in next year's charcuterie board. Come on, be inclusive. All right, thank you so much, my friends. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much to the crew here, to all the players, all the judges, staff, to everyone that makes this show possible and welcome. And thank you, of course, to all of our sponsors. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 11:30 with more coverage from CubeCon. We'll see you tomorrow morning.